Imagine this. You're sitting in an important meeting. Everyone is talking. One person explains every idea in great detail. Another keeps interrupting. Someone else is desperately trying to sound intelligent. Then, there is one person. He barely speaks. He simply watches. He listens. When everyone finishes, he says one sentence. The room goes silent. Suddenly, everyone is paying attention to him. Why? Because confidence rarely needs explanation. In fact, the more people try to prove how smart they are, the less powerful they appear. Most people believe influence comes from speaking more. But history tells a different story. Kings, generals, CEOs, master negotiators, they all understood one simple truth. Every unnecessary word gives away something valuable. It reveals your emotions, your intentions, your doubts, sometimes even your weaknesses. And once people understand those, they can use them against you. Today, we're exploring one of the most misunderstood principles of power. Not because silence is magical, but because silence changes the balance of every conversation. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at speaking the same way again. A young advisor had just joined the royal court. He was brilliant, educated, quick-thinking. Every day, he tried to impress the king. Whenever the king asked a question, the young advisor answered immediately. Long explanations, detailed arguments, perfect logic. He believed knowledge alone would earn respect. But something strange happened. Months passed. The king rarely asked for his opinion. Instead, he trusted an older advisor, a man who spoke very little. The young advisor couldn't understand. One evening, he finally asked, "Why does the king value your advice more than mine? I know more. I work harder. I always have an answer." The old advisor smiled, then poured 2 cups of tea. He filled the first cup, then kept pouring. The tea overflowed onto the table. The young advisor quickly shouted, "Stop! The cup is already full." The old advisor nodded. So is every conversation. When you keep pouring words, people stop appreciating what's inside. The young advisor remained silent. For the first time, he realized he had been trying to prove his intelligence, while the old advisor allowed others to discover it on their own. From that day forward, everything changed. He stopped answering immediately. He listened longer. He asked better questions. When he finally spoke, people leaned closer, because they knew. His words were chosen carefully. Years later, he became the king's closest advisor, not because he knew the most, but because every sentence carried weight. Why did the old advisor become more influential? The answer has nothing to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with psychology. The human brain naturally values what is scarce. Think about diamonds. They're valuable because they're rare. The same principle applies to words. If you speak all the time, your words become ordinary, predictable, easy to ignore. But when you speak only when necessary, every sentence feels important. People automatically assume, if this person is finally speaking, it must be worth hearing. This is called perceived value, and it affects every conversation. There's another reason silence is powerful. Most people are uncomfortable with it. The moment a conversation becomes quiet, someone usually rushes to fill the silence. They explain more. They justify themselves. They reveal information they never intended to share. Without realizing it, they're negotiating against themselves. Master negotiators understand this. After making an offer, they stay quiet. No defending, no explaining, no nervous laughter, just silence. The other person begins talking. And the more they talk, the more information they reveal. Sometimes, they even lower their own demands, not because they had to, but because silence made them uncomfortable. That's the hidden power of saying less. Silence isn't empty, it's pressure, and pressure makes people reveal themselves. Let's look at 3 situations. The first, a job interview. Candidate A talks nonstop. He answers questions that weren't even asked. He keeps trying to prove himself. Candidate B listens carefully, answers clearly, stops speaking when the answer is complete. Who seems more confident? Usually, the second candidate. Not because he knows more, but because confidence doesn't need constant explanation. Now imagine a business meeting. One entrepreneur spends 20 minutes explaining every detail of his idea. By the end, everyone knows his entire strategy. Another entrepreneur explains only the essentials. He creates curiosity. People ask questions. He controls the conversation instead of chasing it.